Going on, y'all? It's your girl Boost Boswell. I didn't want nothing. I said, let me turn on and go live and see what's going on with my besties on YouTube. I absolutely positively um, don't have an agenda. Just trying to see what's going on on these internet streets here lately. I just been surfing and watching and giggling at all the chaos that's going on and trying to brainstorm to see how I can continuously grow and navigate and create good contents for you all. Annie V, how you doing? Welcome aboard. God bless you too. Appreciate you coming in. I was just sitting around here and I said, let me turn this on and see what's going on in these internet streets with absolutely no agenda at all. But I'm glad you came in. I appreciate that. I know one thing. How you doing tonight? We always have to pray, sweetheart. I pray every day. That's a natural part of my mindset. What's what's on your mind? What what you want to pray about, or what's troubling you? Let's bring it to the table. Other than the fact that we living in a jacked up world, and it's a lot of people that we need to be very conscious of. But I agree with you. I'm glad to hear you good. I know it seems like more and more when I come on this internet and I start to scroll, there's so many people out here that's just out of control that it's troubling. It really is. It's troubling to see um the realities of the current state of people's mental health, their inability to identify with what is healthy, what is behaviors that they should practice versus they don't have no limits and they do any and everything. And I just think it's an unfortunate thing, but that's the world we live in. You just got to learn how to protect your peace and increase your spirituality, if nothing else. I know I protect my peace, and I gained actually more peace when I started to speak to God more often. So I agree with you. We definitely need to pray and um, and be good stewards of our mental space and who we allow into our world. I know the other day I did an article on Shakari Richardson. I like to bring that kind of content to the platform because it's a reminder that any and everybody deals with adversity. She dealt with a lot of adversities and she overcame them. She took the time to address herself. So many times people don't want to take responsibility for their behaviors and their actions. It's always what happened to me and me, and I. And when you get in that frame of mind, there's no growth. There's no self correction that's displayed. And when you don't have any accountability, then you're not going to move forward. And that's just an unfortunate thing. But Shakari, I like to see her growth and what she came to the platform and said in regards to she's not back, she's better. And I like that. When I heard her say that, that was very impactful. Joseph, how are you, sir? Welcome here. I'm glad that you caught me. God is the shortening of the word good. Amen. So to speak to God, you need to speak to yourself to see the good that is around you. Amen. Absolutely. Young lady had popped in and said we need to pray. I don't know. She never referenced what it was about, but this was before you popped in. One of the things that I said, I always pray. It's a natural mindset that I have. Um, I have conversations all day. It's a part of my ability to communicate and to nurture my mental state. Oh, you still here? Okay. Well, good. You got that's a form of self-care. Um, but back to what you're saying, Joseph, I totally agree. I've been doing that for a while. I actually started before the pandemic, and it definitely increased during the pandemic because I was all by myself, and my relationship with God was increasing, and I went months without seeing anybody. So my ability to take my troubles and my worries and just my overall conversation and faith to God and have those constant conversations brought a form of peace uh, and a level of understanding of nurturing my inner self, was able to take me through all these troubled times that we all experience collectively together but apart. So I encourage any and all people to focus on their spirituality. It's the one thing that I don't never leave home without, especially in this ever-changing world that we live in. Joseph, how you doing this evening? What time is it? Where are you at? Is it 12-hour difference in the UK? Um, but yeah. But I was talking about security. I'm just glad to see that she's growing, and look at what happens when you take the time to really search internally and do work that on yourself that don't have anything to do with anybody else. You can overcome so many things. And I mean, what? She started to win races, and now she's a world champion, and that's a beautiful thing. Annie, I'm in New Jersey. Joseph, I think he might have popped off. He in United Kingdom, but oh, you still there, Joseph? So you were perhaps Will Salone, talking to the good that you needed to find in you and your predicament. Absolutely. Um, I actually had to dig out all the rotten in me first before I could get to the good. And during that time, Joseph, God actually was dealing with me. He actually started dealing with me before, 6 months before the pandemic happened. He was preparing me with what was to come. And I didn't know it then, but hindsight, I know it now. And just God is a gracious God. Had he not started to come to me and speak to me, I don't think I would have survived all that I went through. Um, 1 a.m. Okay. So 6 hour difference. I had to count on my fingers, Joseph. Um, but yeah, uh, he addressed a lot of inner turmoil that I had with myself, and it wasn't. I often speak about this in other videos that self care starts out ugly. You got to go through the ugly before it gets pretty, and that happened to me personally. And when I say that, I speak it from a place of experience because I had to walk down all the ugly things that were inside of me and then outside of me and address them one by one individually for me to get to that other side, that self-care and self-love. I didn't know for so many years that I didn't love myself. And that's why when I hear a lot of people speak about self-love and self-care, I know a lot of people don't have the true understanding and comprehension of what it is because you ain't born with it. You ain't born with self-love and self-care. That's a behavior that you have to learn and practice and understand. And I know that most people don't understand that. They just use those words, but they don't know the realness and the reality behind it. You were dealing with you because you see goodness within yourself. Absolutely. You managed to seek the good and dealt with your bad feelings. You are absolutely right. You and I and everyone who seeks goodness. Yeah. And you go through it and see, those of us that have went through that process, we understand what that's about. And we also understand those that when that speak up and had these conversations and they don't have any substance behind it, we can identify that they don't know what they're talking about, because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of realization and evolving that comes with arriving to that space of being authentically honest with yourself and healing and growing as a person individually. And it's a beautiful thing when you interact with people in that space. Hey lady, welcome aboard. Latu. I thought about you earlier, and I I was wondering, I said I didn't put up a notice, but I actually didn't know if I was going log on. I just said let me log on because I'm just sitting here. But I'm glad you seen that notification, lady. um I got a wrench. I don't know what that is. What you talking about? You talking about because I assigned you? You talking about the wrench by you? Oh yeah, I went last week. I went, if that's what you're talking about. The yeah, you know, those of y'all that I feel like I know personally. Yeah, exactly. Um, that's what I thought you was talking about. See, I'm on this StreamYard, so I don't see that, but I did. I went on my laptop because you know a lot these phones, a lot of the options you can't see. But anyway, I was talking about before you came on. I was talking to Joseph. Joseph from the UK in here, and if we have any other people that's not a part of the community, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. We authentic. We a supportive community. We focus on mental health awareness and in real life situations as teachable moments. And we just regular people. Sometimes we pop off a little, but that's okay. We work in process and we gonna grow from it, and we believe in a soft life. But don't piss me off every here and there, because I ain't one of these content creators that act like I'm something I'm not. I'm middle age. I do okay, and I like to share my life lessons and support my community. And a lot of individuals in this community follow each other, so we encourage that. And when somebody pissed me off, I do a teachable moment, but it's all in love. And I feel blessed to have you all here and a part of the community. I'm honored to have you, Logical Think. I appreciate you accepting that. We are all God's to teach and be willing to learn and listen to what affects us and those around us and what we need to help ourselves. Amen. My biggest lesson in life was I was always very supportive of other people and wanted to help others, but I had to learn, fast forward, I had to learn in my life in order to be a good steward to others, I had to learn how to help myself. um I could get other people together real quick, give out the best information and the best path for people to achieve. And although I did well professionally, my personal life was a wreck, and I had to learn how to uh, correct that and learn how to help myself and heal from past pains and an ego that was passed on to me from society's expectations. And once I started to shed all that, then my blessings started to come in. There's some blue boots. I have a T-shirt that says "Half Hood, Half Holy." Don't play with me. I seen one of them. I love that. I seen one similar like that. I need one of them T-shirts. I'm gonna have to look me up one too. Um, Amen. And I did that. I actually had to hold myself accountable in group therapy because I'm, managing people for 20 years of my life. I'm able to facilitate and navigate very easily, and the group therapist was very comfortable with me doing that because it was second nature. And my fellow patients or whatever you call us that was in group therapy, clients, they navigated to me, but I had to stop all that because I was there for me. And I was so accustomed to helping other people that I needed to learn how to help myself and get well. So I had to speak up and hold the counselor accountable and said, don't let me do that. Because at that point, I really did need help because I was so accustomed with helping other people. But I've been on TikTok. I actually did two. Well, I did a series, I think about 4 videos of Peach McIntyre. For those who know her, she's a well-known content creator that is very effective, very ignorant, but very effective with her message and how she presents herself. But she's entertaining and she's grown a big platform. I did 4 posts last week regarding her drama, made up drama, family drama, whatever. It was all a teachable moment. And they actually went, 2 of those posts went over 20,000 views. That I kind of walked down the mother and daughter dynamic and struggles within the family. And what that showed me is that there's a lot of hurt and a lot of healing that needs to happen between a mother and a daughter. And there's definitely a gap between my generation, which is Generation X, which I believe a lot of you are Generation X or millennials, um, some baby boomers. But there's a big gap with understanding and building healthy relationships between the mother daughter dynamic. And it's just a unfortunate thing. And it really, I already knew it existed, but it really opened my eyes to how much these younger generations are disconnected from their parents, and a lot of understanding and healing needs to happen within the family. Joseph, one thing that I got to do some more research, but I'm seeing a lot more of the conversation, which I already know, of men healing that needs to happen. And I think that topic definitely needs to grow, and more men need to understand their feelings and come out on the platform, so they can develop coping mechanisms to effectively heal and not hide and excuse me, and suffer in silence. Because a lot of times, men don't really know how to cope with their feelings because they wasn't taught how to, and then they are leaders of these families, and their families are suffering too. And that's when, a lot of self pain is inflicted, and abuse and all these other things that we see happening out here in these streets. And until we address collectively all the struggles that men have emotionally as well, then I don't think the dynamics of abuse, of abandonment, and disrespect, and just illness will decrease. We got to be honest about everything. Is to pray mean the opposite of pray? Yeah. To pray means the opposite of pray. I like that. So join with me. Don't take from me. Amen. I agree with that. I lift that up in the name of God. My friend says she can't tell her mama nothing because she judges. She's already tired asking her not to before responding. Responding, she's giving up. Your friend is giving up, or the mother or the daughter is giving up. I think so. What I'm finding out on this platform is a lot of mothers are frustrated when it comes to their daughters, and I've seen this a lot on different platforms. Okay, so she's giving up. I think when you're dealing with the older generation, they were raised in just such a different time, and their struggles were so different than what ours, well, not so, because they still exist today, but it was just so deeply enrooted with poverty and racism, and their, and how they had to come through so much more abuse from society, and then within the home, that they know that the life that they have passed on to us, even though it can be somewhat harsh, wasn't as nearly as harsh as the world that they grew up in. And I think we got to learn how to offer them some compassion and understanding, but not to the point to where we don't hold them accountable or we put ourselves in harm's way. Um, Said her mother is horrible and thinks I hate her. I respect her, but don't fool with her because she's a narcissist. Now, when you dealing with older people that are manipulative, and that don't want any accountability whatsoever, then sometimes you got to set them free. Um, I remember my ex, his mother had the beginning stages of dementia, and her mind would go in and out. Sometimes she was normal, and other times she was not. And what I learned was she was a very manipulative woman. She was manipulative before she got sick with the beginning stages of dementia, and she was very effective with She had 3 kids. My ex was the middle child. She was very effective with manipulating the youngest two, my ex and the sister, but the oldest son saw her and could handle her differently. And me being a woman and growing up in a household of 6 women, I know a woman well. And she didn't know how to deal with when I started calling her out on her manipulative behavior, because and she wanted to fall back on the excuse of what she was older and that she was set in her ways. And I told her that that is no excuse. You're not the only one with feelings. And you need to do better. We ain't gonna hang our hats on because you older and set in your ways. No matter what age, we all got feelings and we all accountable for how we treat others. And she was in her 70s, but I held her accountable because you old enough to know better and you need to do better. Those named good is to join with me. She's 74 and treats my friend like crap, and now she lives with my friend. Oh, I know your friend miserable. I refuse to visit again, but I won't admit it to my friend. But I understand where you at. To be honest with you, there came a point to where I just could no longer deal with my ex family and his mother. It was a matter of protecting my peace. There's a difference when you're trying to be helpful and then you have a manipulative person and an enabling family, to where I started to adapt to the concept of minding my own business. This don't have anything to do with me. I'm trying to help you, but you're not going to be abusive to me. Um, and I'm gonna set you free and let your kids deal with you. I had gained that woman's trust so tough, to where if you could line me and her 3 kids side by side, and we all would tell her to come here, and she would have came to me. That's when I said you got to meet people where they was at. That lady, she couldn't rest that night. She ended up sleeping in the bed with me at night. But it was too much when you dealing with somebody that is manipulative and have been that way. um, you have to put expectations and boundaries in place, and everybody has to adhere to them, and be collaborative and supportive on correcting that behavior and holding that person accountable, or you ain't gonna never get nowhere. And the next thing you know, um, you become sick from helping the sick. And that ain't gonna happen. 4 sisters and a mother boost. Who no 5. Yeah, 4 sisters. Yeah. I'm the 5th. I'm the youngest. 5 girls, and my mother was 6. One thing I listen, logical thinking, one thing I know is a woman, and can't nobody tell me different. I know a woman. Older women were the person to discipline, and manipulation was a way to manage those around them. I agree. Older men would do this by harsh discipline, the same thing. Yeah. And they were stern disciplinarians. And they mind, they feel like, they ended out good. I was talking to one of my sisters not too long ago, where I was saying, I believe in discipline, but we was talking about gentle parenting. There's limits to the gentle parenting. Um, I think the way I was raised had a definite level of abuse, because it was passed down generational. But there was certain aspects of that raising that I believe in, because you can be too gentle and you could raise a monster. And a lot of these younger people out here are monsters in the aspect of they've had no correction, and they're very disrespectful and abusive, and that's why the rates of parent killings have increased, unfortunately. um because when you don't have a conscience, so your conscience becomes dull. If you everything you do it, then that's condoning bad behavior, and it festers and it develops in something more aggressive. And then you have all these people running around without a conscience, which leads to very dangerous people. Now, this is just my opinion. um could be wrong, but I've observed a lot, and it's pretty consistent. When you lack any correction, you you're raising a monster. Distance herself from people to protect herself from responsibility. I'm dropping a video about, yeah. Hey, we should do a collab on badass kids. Logical thinker. Um, I think your friend is stuck in a hard place though. I'm gonna call you LT. LT. Because you 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 start to have. All right, let's do it. You let me know and I'll be there. Um, people have a sense of responsibility for their parents, and she was, her mother just didn't become that way. Her mother probably always been that way, so she probably don't know how to deal with her mother other than how she's always, interacted with her, and it spilled over to adulthood. Um, I went through that with my mother. Actually, this is the first place I've been here on the East Coast. What, 7 years? This is the first place that I've ever lived, and my mother didn't live with me. And I'm the youngest. She got four other daughters, but my mother always lived with me everywhere I lived. And coming here changed the dynamic. Like, I needed a new experience. I wasn't running from my mother or nothing. She didn't live with me when I left Ohio, but I needed to live life on my own. And because you can get addicted to, and you could get so caught up in other people's lives to where you never live your life. And I wanted an opportunity to live my life. You are not your children's friends. You are their teachers, to have good character and to respect. Amen. And that's how I manage my kids now. Now, my daughter is a Gen Z. My son is more laid back, soft spoken, respectful than my daughter. My two kids are 10 years apart. My daughter, she'll be a 19 next month. She's a Gen Z, and she's one of those. She look at you as her equal. And she's quick to want to she talks to you as if she has options, in the aspect of, she can quit talking to you, but she don't understand that that's a two-way street. I can quit talking to you as well. So I have to teach her those lessons, that you ain't gonna be a young girl, even though she's a young adult now, when it's convenient for you, and then want to be adult but in my pockets. We gonna keep it one way. You're gonna be a young adult from here on out, and there's boundaries and expectations that are in place. And if you can't meet my boundaries and expectations just like you want me to adhere to yours, then I throw back at her the same boundaries that she throw at me, if that makes sense. And it's working out for me, and it humbles her, because a couple of times I didn't have to shut her off and just block her out, just to let her know that no, you're not the only one with feelings, because they can become very entitled. And I worked for all I have, and I know how much more productive you are when you work for something. So I had to start putting those expectations back on my daughter. You know, I work every day and I make a decent living, but I can't eat out every day. You barely work and you think you have the opportunities to have all these luxuries, and life ain't about that. So it's been a journey, but she's definitely growing in that way. She actually had two jobs this summer, and I encourage that. I had two jobs many times in my life. If you want extras, then do extra. But yeah, I know I seen something on TikTok though. To your point, LT, was I did a video on TikTok just because I saw someone else, uh, where a lot of millennials and Gen Z is speaking out against our generation, Gen X, saying we suck at grandparents. I'm not a grandparent, I know you got a younger son. You're not either. But suck at it being a grandparent and an aunt. Basically, like we don't really want to babysit and support. And they are correct. I raised my kids. I don't want to babysit. They want you to be responsible for their kids, and that day is done. Yes, it makes total sense. I have been a child when young. Occasionally a child whilst I have been on adult. Occasionally a child whilst I have been an adult. Yeah. Um, but that's what they want though. And unfortunately, a lot of these young people don't know what true struggle is. A lot's been handed to them, and then once reality hit, and that kind of happened to my daughter, and that's when I had to pull back on her, because you can hand off, you can give kids so much to where when they get older they have this certain level of expectation. And I actually had to tell my daughter this at one point. I said, this is my life. And her father, I said, we are loaning you our lifestyle. I said, in order to live this lifestyle, you got to work hard to maintain it. I said, because at some point, see, we cut you loose, and then whatever life you've built for yourself, that's what you will live. I said, this life is on loaner. We giving you the resort. Oh, because my daughter got upset because we told her, like she's gonna have to start getting a little part-time job after the first year of college, to help um with some of her extracurriculars. And she said we wanted her to go to college. That was something we wanted. And I had to stop. Whoa, this is for you. This is for your life. I'm established. My life is on loaner to you. If you want to maintain or have a better life, then you got to step forward and help maintain and push this thing forward. But she's she thought she was educating me with the fact that basically she was doing us a favor by going to college. And but it's the mentality. It's just not her. Like, that is a mentality. And I had to bring her back to reality real quick. My 25-year-old niece just had a baby and wanted her father to watch her kid while working. I said it ain't his responsibility. He is college and still raising another. He's in college and still raising. Yeah. Listen, one of the points I made on that TikTok video, I think I made it today or yesterday. I threw it up there because I came across a lot of Gen Z people talking about, addressing their kids in aspects of basically they kids want them to raise their grandkids. And yeah, I had to let her know. My kids are very aware. Like if you have children, um hopefully you're mature enough and I've taught you enough, and you want enough for yourself to do it, in a marriage, and have the financial stability that it takes to raise children. But if you don't make that decision, then you have to manage all the things that come along with it, because the difference is, so I'm at the middle stage headed to the later stage in life. They at the beginning stages, and I'm not going to spend my middle to end stages of life raising someone else's kids. At some point, I want to enjoy my life. I worked a lot for a long time, and I'm still working, to raise my kids and to try to create experiences and opportunities for them to do better than I did. At some point, my life has to be for me, and I'm entering that stage. And um, I would hope that your children, would want to celebrate that. But there's a lot of selfishness that's out in these streets, and all I can tell them, don't wait on me, because you'll be in trouble. I'm gonna live a part of my life. You can believe that. Children consistently push that boundary of love they expect you to have at all times. Yeah, they do, without realizing the hurt they can give you. Yep, they would never treat their friends that way. I told my daughter this one day. You are on target. You put the nail right in the middle of the target, Joseph. She like they go through that stage obviously when their friends mean the most, when you know their friends are the top priority. But my daughter was good for doing that when it came to me and her father, felt she could treat us any kind of way, but then you out in these streets kissing ass, excuse my French, and sucking up to your friends, but we feeding and clothing you. And I told her one day, I said, no. I said, you ain't gonna abuse me. I said, you want something, ask your friends. I said, because see, I'm a person too, and I got feelings, and you just can't treat me any old kind of way. And then when these friends out, I said, the same level of assertiveness and aggression that you have with me and your father, I said, take that in the streets and have it with your friends. I said, because I feel like it's a form of abuse, and I will not be abused by nobody. And I'm starting with you. Exactly, exactly. Um, and I did a video about that, about my mother. I said, I went through a phase where my friends mean more than me, and my mother taught me the greatest lesson on how much of a friend she was to me when I wasn't a friend to her. Um, a lot of these young people need to understand that, uh, the effects of their behaviors, and stop looking at their parents as all these expectations and see us as people, because you know looking at you as you are, they have all these expectations, and then all these requests and monetary needs and wants. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to meet all those expectations, because it's a false expectation, and it and it develops just a person that doesn't have good character. The people that have best that I have came across that have the most healthy and humble and great character is those that are self-sufficient and go out and achieve independently. I did. um, and those that was handed everything, a lot of them ended up rotten. If you have children, they are your responsibility, so think hard before you have children. Yep, make sure you are ready for the responsibility to care for an innocent that is reliant solely on you, and that's the truth. um, these people that are coming up, they don't have that mentality. And not that families don't step in and support, but it's the attitude and it's the level of expectation that's the problem. um, by nature, families support typically, but when you have a person that is entitled and aggressive and um, puts expectations like you got to do this, see, then that's when I got to teach you what life is all about and help you understand I don't have to do nothing but stay black and alive. And I just wish them the best, but it's a lot of healing that needs to happen with that generation. And I do acknowledge some ownership. Us as parents of these people have done, in many cases, a lapsadaisical and a poor job, um, of giving them the tools and the nurturing that they needed to be successful. But at some point, you got to own where you are, where you're at in life, and be accountable. And it's one of the best things I ever did was quit putting blame on others and started to be accountable for where I was at in life, and started to own where I was going and making the right strides. That's why I can sit on this internet now and talk shit with y'all. Excuse my French. But I earned my right to do that because I had to put a lot of work in. Like many people that interact here that's middle aged, like didn't nobody give a lot of us nothing. We had to work for what we got, and we went through some adversities to overcome. And it built character and resilience and a level of humility and responsibility. And everybody need a little bit of that. We have so many contractions available. Yep. How do so many not use it wisely? If your man can't rap it, don't. Yeah, exactly. And I know it's the one you little young lady, and I'm tickled. I'm tickled. I like to watch some of this little content. I take my breaks when I'm trying to figure out how to grow the platform. It's some people I follow, and the young lady Morgan on TikTok, her whole theme is she had a random baby by she had a baby by a random guy in Atlanta, and contraceptives. Um and her story has evolved. She's actually went viral on TikTok, and she's a real good content creator, young girl, live in Michigan. She was saying how after she had her baby, basically the baby's father got ghost on her, dropped her off at her, parents' house, and then moved in with his girlfriend in Atlanta and ain't seen the baby since. Fast forward, you know, he didn't know how to stay in the shadow because she didn't gained a lot of followers on TikTok. I think she almost up to 700,000 now. He come from out of behind the scenes, and lo and behold, she thought she was the sixth baby mama. She didn't know he had all these kids before she got pregnant. That's why you got to do your homework. A lot of these people get in these relationships and have these children, and they don't even know who they sleeping with. She just found out the other day she wasn't the sixth baby mama, she was the seventh. So this guy, and he was too young to be messing with her. She was 21, and I think he was 30, 31 when she got pregnant. See um that ain't a great age difference when you older. But when you 21, you don't have no business with messing with a guy at 30, 31, because emotionally, even though he's very immature, he's too old for her at that stage. It don't matter like when you 40, 50, when you start getting up in age, it don't matter. But when you just, her mind ain't even fully developed until she's 25. But she found out this young dude, the Atlanta, from the random guy in Atlanta, he got seven baby mamas. Can you imagine having kids with a child with a guy that's got seven baby mamas? I don't even understand. I think a lot of these girls didn't know about each other, but that also says that a lot of them didn't do their homework, and you're so quick to get in these relationships. The She on TikTok, you gotta look her up and hear her story. It's actually comical, but it's true because she's very authentic and honest, and she pretty much tell everybody, if you don't want to end up like me, then wrap it up. Um and but she's called, her name is Morgan on TikTok, and her whole theme is she got a baby by a random man from Atlanta. And the random man from Atlanta um has seven baby mamas, and he ain't taking care of nobody. Um but it's a sad reality that it's a lot of girls, young ladies out here having children with these guys, and they don't even know. She talks about when she was pregnant, she didn't even know that it was another girl. He was living with her, a whole nother girl was pregnant, and he was attending baby showers and all with the other girl, and she didn't have no clue. um everybody gets so consumed with that, my man, my man, my man, and because they want one, but they enter into these nightmares without any real knowledge. And before you should lay down with anybody, like you need to understand what comes with that, and you really need to develop a relationship before you open your legs. A lot of times uh these women are giving their bodies to someone and they don't even really know them, and the most precious thing that you can do is give yourself. And people have taken away the sacredness of intimacy, and so that's how you end up with having a baby from a random man in 11 or 7 kids and a baby daddy. Those older men be turning these young girls out and influencing their minds. I'm gonna speak to that. I got a caveat to that. That is a bad power dynamic. It is. He wants to be seen as a young man, but should know better. I love that. I tell people I'm a walking PSA, public service announcement. Absolutely. But this is the thing though. Let me jump back to this real quick, LT. That's the total opposite of the mentality of sprinkle, sprinkle, young ladies. Sprinkle, sprinkle, young ladies see many times a older one, a guy that's established. The whole concept is a guy that's established. Um, so he can take care of her. And many times you got to go with somebody a little bit older that's, that's got more money. So it don't just be the men, it be these young chicks. They want an older guy because a lot of them don't want to work, but they want the finer things in life, but they don't understand what comes with that. And a lot of times what they after they get something totally different. And it's a reality checker. And that's why, I'll be trying to speak up and help them understand, but their mentality is so brainwashed. They think you jealous. Jealous of what? Um, I don't need nobody to take care of me. I got a check that come every 2 weeks, and I buy anything I want. But their mentality is so warped that they don't realize what they signing up for, and it's an unfortunate thing. That's true. They have a plan, but life slaps them in the face when it don't go right. Yeah, and more times than not, um, it slaps them in the face. Uh, it's not enough men to go around. Number one, number two, that are financially in a position to do things on a level that these girls speak about, and two, if those men are out, when those men are out there, what makes you think that you so special that you gonna get one? I know I seen this on TikTok. I be hanging out on TikTok here lately too. I check this out. I seen this about 3 times today. These algorithms, or if you say something on these phones are conditioned to make stuff pop up. Like if I talk about McDonald's, see, sometime today or tomorrow, McDonald's gonna pop up. It'll bring stuff forth that you speak about. On TikTok, I seen about 3 videos from 3 different people that dis statistics, and the statistics was this. Joseph, you might find this interesting. They said, they was talking about black women. They said, so the reality is, why they want to talk about black women, the highest success rate of a marriage that has the least amount of divorce is the marriage of a black woman and a Caucasian male. It's the rate of a successful marriage is higher with a black woman and a white male versus a white male and a white woman, and a black male and a white woman. White men have the higher they make, I think they said the average was around 50% salaries higher than um African American men. And then black women were the highest at degrees. So you had an educated man and an educated woman. that have made a educated decision to be together, and you're already faced with adversity, so you've already made a decision that you feel for this person enough to where your feelings for this person overpowers society, and you join together because of emotions and a mature decision, and you're able to progress and move forward successfully together, and the success rate is very high. I thought that was interesting. I said, where my white men at? Y'all, if you can't support yourself, don't expect someone else to. Absolutely, Joseph, I agree. Expectation management is also key. It absolutely is. But I thought that was interesting. um I learned early in life, don't wait on nobody to eat. um No, compatibility is one of them, but they put the statistics where like people were in life. And let's be honest, so I have always dealt with compatibility, but I'm gonna be honest about me. And I learned this young. My mother was like this. My mother actually dated a Caucasian man for several years when I was growing up. Um, I adapted this off of what my mother said, and I believe it. Um, and it ain't about gold digging because I make my own money. Can't be in love if the bill collector's calling. Not that I need you to take care of me, but I need you. But I need a man to be a man, and I need and want certain experiences in life. And the reality is, it takes finances to do that. I'm not gonna wait on you to eat, but I can't enjoy you either if the bill collectors keep bothering us and we struggling. Like, you have to get beyond that at some point in life. And I think it's a cop out when people want to say, and I ain't talking about you, Joseph, I'm just saying in general, from my past experiences and just interacting with others, when they don't want to address that because they haven't done what they needed to do in life to succeed. Like, people, that's like you want to downplay the better part in life. To be able to go and do what you want to do, and you're going to always have challenges, but to not have financial challenges be a part of that equation, that's the type of arena that I want to play in. I didn't work hard, and I want to enjoy another part in life other than I love you, but I'm struggling. Like, that ain't where I'm at, and that's just being honest. Yeah, I don't want to do struggle love. I don't think like I don't want. I don't have the mentality. Oh, I'm gold digging or anything like that. But I just don't want to, if you're struggling, I think you need to be focused on bettering yourself, bettering your life. Yeah. fi- like I said, my mother told me at a young age, and I never forgot it. The way she put it was, can't be in love if the bill collector's calling. If the bill people are knocking, then live within your means. Don't let a partner spend money you both don't have. I agree with that. But if the bill collector calling, somebody ain't doing something. I don't know. That's just my logic. I don't want to be struggling. I think when you get with somebody, you should. I'm at the point in my life, and I've loved enough. Like, I have to be attracted to you, and I have to have feelings for you. But I'm past. It has to be all in love. I think you get to a stage to where, how do we enhance one another's lives? How do we complement each other, and how um, does our interaction and our collaboration move us forward? Um, I did the strictly love, and I'm just, I'm in my late 40s. I know that to have a successful relationship, it's not just based off love. Love ain't gonna sustain us. There's there has to be more than than a big butt and a cute smile, as my ex used to say. Save and pay cash. Don't beg and don't borrow. I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm almost debt free. Praise God. Thank you, Lord. It's taken me several years to get to that point, and I'm excited about it. Um, I'm excited to get to the point to where I ain't pimping out my paycheck. The credit cards and all of that. It's a great space to be in, and I actually get offended when I'm out to the stores because I pay with my debit card. I mean, I rarely have cash, but I pay with, your debit card is cash. And I hate when at the checkout when they always asking, do you want to save 10% by opening a card, and I tell them, I said, we know that ain't nobody saving 10%. I just stop them. I said, not interested, not interested. And I hate when they try to follow up because now you're being offensive. I said I wasn't interested. And then I say, absolutely, with your card. If you want me to use your card, I'll cash it out all day. Um, but that's just the realities. I mean, we all mature and old enough. Joseph, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking. If you do, just don't respond. But yeah, I think there's a even balance. You got like the sprinkle people is one extreme. You got peach and them another extreme, and then you gotta have that middle balance. Um, I even teach my son because he's a millennial in his generation. I don't teach him at this point. I've taught him. I hope that he adhere to the advice I gave him. A lot of these young ladies don't like to work. Well, he has to work, and he's a working man. He ain't a trust fund baby. So that means y'all both gotta work. Um, I don't want my son out here working like a dog and she's sitting on her butt just because she didn't give him some butt. No, I don't think so. You want the finer things in life, then y'all got to work together. It's a collaboration. And then when relationships don't work out, God forbid you have a kid. As a woman, I know how women are, and it could be, a miserable chick can make a guy's life hell, and it ain't fair. And she tried to take every damn he got. I got you. I got you. So, I see. I'll be 50, Joseph. In March. Um, but yeah. So I think I think we got a lot of work to do on these people, these younger people, in regards to enlightenment, because you got a lot of people that want something for nothing, and at the end of the day, that ain't reality. That ain't reality. And I think my biggest struggle with people too is when you come across people that know everything and you can't tell them nothing. Um, I find that to be very true with a lot of young people. Um, so I'm sorry to hear that. Did you put it back together? Are you okay now, Joseph? Um, my life fell apart 4 years ago. Like literally, like for real. I worked on my adulthood, and then high stress work environments and toxic in the toilet relationships just made my mental and my physical health deteriorate, and I'm still on a healing journey. I what I've grown to understand is you're all once you get on a healing journey, I think healing is a forever evolving path in life, because you grow and you continuously grow. And I don't think And why I say forever, because I don't think it'll stop until your last day. I don't want it to stop. I like this journey because it's an awakening. It's an ever evolving realization and growth that that continuously pushes you forward. And I hope to never get off that path because it's made me a better woman. But it's also humbled me because you don't bounce back as you grow older, as we all know. You don't bounce back as easily um, as we used to. And that's why I say, many times people don't have the time that they think. I think we all can agree collectively. It was like yesterday when we was 20. Time goes by quickly. So quickly, sometimes it can be troubling how quickly life goes by. But it's the realization of how this thing called life operates, and how we don't got no time to play with nobody, because it's a serious thing. Not yet. I have tried not to let others see my problems, so I can only try to resolve this slowly. Um, would it would it help you if you did open up to other people? I know sometimes we like to deal with things in private, and we also suffer silently. But sometimes that's our ego taking control of us and manipulating us. I think it comes a time when we have to let all that go and be okay with allowing other people to help us. If it's been 25 years, I think it might be okay at this point in your life, Joseph, to allow others to come in and help you. I think I think it would be the right thing to do, because to go 25 years and still suffering, then it might be just time to do something differently. I've interacted with you enough on here to know you're a good person, and I wish the best for you, and I want the best for you. And I know we live in a judgmental world, but there's a lot of people that aren't judgmental. And why not you having a happy, healthy life? You deserve it just like the rest of us. I encourage you to do something different, Joseph. If it's been 25 years and it's time, it's time to do something different because you deserve it. And I don't think you should wait another minute. That's it. Pride and ego will keep you in the same spot for years. I know it will. Been there, done that. And you know what? That's it's terrible how dangerous the ego can be. I actually ordered a lot of CDs back during the pandemic of Eckhart Tolle. If listen to Eckhart Tolle, he actually has a lot of audio podcasts out there too, Joseph. He speaks about the ego and emotional struggles. It was very helpful to me when I was going through major anxiety, depression, and the pandemic, and just all the stuff that came with it. Um, I learned how to meditate and start to acknowledge when my ego was playing tricks on me, and work through it and resolve it. And it brought a level of humility, humbleness, where I got past all that arrogance that comes with the ego, and how we manipulate ourselves, and just all the nastiness that comes with the ego. Eckhart Tolle really helped me. His teachings and um, his audios really helped me during that state. I invite you to look him up. Seriously, Cause my ego, like we gotta learn how to check that ego. A lot of people then become unalive because of the ego. The ego ain't nothing to play with. It's very dangerous. It's a very powerful thing, and we have to acknowledge it and learn how to deal with it, put it in check. And once we get past, you become so powerful when you get past the ego. Man, I'm telling y'all, I am stubborn and have convinced myself that it is all in my head, but no, it isn't. I couldn't see the good in myself, but no, it is there because I wouldn't be affected if it wasn't. Yeah. Oh, yacht. I like that yacht. I'm gonna start using yacht. I like that yacht. I just got that. I like it. Well, Joseph, quit being stubborn. You be on here and you show so much compassion and patience, and then you have to learn how to offer all that you offer us to yourself. You worth it, but that is a hard task. Like I said earlier, one of the hardest things that I had to learn how to do was to learn how to help myself. Very good at helping others. Very good at navigating and giving direction and support to others. But when it came to me, I was just a hot mess. Didn't know how to do it. Therapy helped with that. Therapy helped me learn how to help myself. So I understand I can identify with that. But at some point, you got to make a decision, Joseph. Your life is worth more than that. And it's okay to need some help. I think more men should do it. There's a lot of good men out there that's robbing themselves in the world of everything that they can offer others because they get in their own way. And it's okay to need help, but it's not okay to do nothing about it. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to act on it. Hold yourself accountable. But yeah, but you know what? I'm getting excited about these platforms. Yacht. I'm gonna call you Yacht. I like that. I really like that. Um, hey, and you know what? That could be your tribe's name, the Yacht tribe. Yeah, too many, way too many, and they still are not at the stage to where they're making the proper steps and being open and telling their truths and trying to learn how to develop healthy coping mechanisms. It's far too many men that are still out here suffering silence and not enough that's being done about it. But we got to keep pushing the agenda forward. Because let's be honest, a lot of these women out here, they emotionally unhealthy and damaged because of bad relationships, because of broken hearts, abuse. A lot of women's trauma stems from a relationship, a broken heart, mental and physical abuse. I can't stop hurting myself because I can't accept the fact that a family member isn't here to have what has passed me by. I can't stop hurting myself because I can't accept the fact that a family member isn't here to have what has passed me by. I'm not for sure what you're saying there. Like one of your family members or a mate. I'm a little confused, but um we all want somebody, you know. We all have our struggles. Ain't nobody exempt from challenges and obstacles. It's a part of life. But you got so many people out here pretending that we've adapted a unhealed culture, emotionally damaged mentality. and interactions, just pushes us further and further into that unhealthy place because you got so many unhealthy people. That's why you got to be guarded by who you deal with and be very intentional with how you navigate. But you got to learn how to show yourself some grace because we all going to stumble and we all going to make mistakes. But we get up, we learn, and we push forward. If we keep making excuses, what I'm hearing for you, Joseph, is a whole bunch of excuses. And it's time to stop that. My brother died a long time ago, and it plays tricks that I don't deserve what he isn't here to have. I understand. I think you have to heal from his death. Have to offer yourself grace and forgiveness. Like they say, people either live in anxiety. People that suffer from anxiety live in the past or the future. If you want to experience peace in your life, learn how to live now in this moment. Because this moment is the only thing we got. Here today, gone in 10 minutes from now. It's life. That saying, which is just not true. Here today, gone tomorrow. No. Here today, gone today. There you go. There you go, y'all. You got to get over that, Joseph. Quit looking in the past and live right now. But know that God makes no mistakes and you are here for a reason. Amen. Live in it now. Yes, amen. Yes, y'all, I know. Now is the time. It took me, like, death is a different thing. It took me a couple years to start healing from my father's death because me and my four sisters, true daddy's girl, love my father to death. But the reality is, I was thankful for the time. You have to celebrate that you had that person in your life, that you experienced love enough to where you miss that person, that your heart feels because of that person. Some people go a lifetime and never feel any genuine feelings or love. You have to turn that guilt into a celebration that you had something in your life that was so precious that your heart feels and beats because of it, and be grateful that you had that moment in time. Some people never experience love, but but you did, and that's enough to be grateful and thankful for. I used to be very hurt when I thought about my father because I missed him so much. Now I celebrate him and I'm just grateful that I had him. And I'm very appreciative because I know I experienced something that a lot of people haven't. And although I wish I had more of it, at least I had it. I can say I had it. Joseph, I think your brother is resting in peace, knowing that you are hurting yourself here on earth. He is not. Yep. Joseph, I think your brother, yeah, is resting in peace, knowing that you are hurting yourself here on earth. And he's not. The best thing you can do for your family and for yourself is to live and to live well. I think that's how we celebrate the life of somebody else. Don't keep beating yourself up on about that. You didn't did enough of that. A long time of that, Joseph. But the reality is, can't nobody else get you there. You got to get yourself there, and we waiting on you to get yourself there. Y'all, when you want to circle back about what you gonna broadcast, you want to pre-record or live? She ain't on here. But anyway, oh, something else. I don't know if y'all know who this is, but Clarence Avant. I was gonna do an article on this, and I changed my mind. He was the guy. He was real known in the R&B world. He helped a lot of people open up doors in Hollywood. They actually his son-in-law is the CEO of Netflix. His daughter married him, but about 2 years ago, and him and his wife, they've been in the celebrity world for a long, long time. Like they, you know, was in that Marvin Gaye, all them arena like 60s, but he been in the arena forever. Long story short, somebody, I think it was last year, had robbed their house and ended up unaliving his wife, and they was in their 70s, 80s. He passed away the other day, and I wonder how long he would last after all that time being with his wife, and then somebody robbed him. But he passed away uh, last last week. I think he was 92. But I know that the death of his wife took time time off his life, even though he was an older man and lived a good life. But his son-in-law is CEO of Netflix. It was a good story. Caucasian man, black lady. They've been married a long time. His son-in-law. Well, I already pre-recorded a short vid and going up. Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. But we can chop it up this weekend in the evening sometime. Okay. Or if you don't, or if not that, another subject. It don't matter. I just threw it out there. Y'all, I don't know if I can believe. Okay. That's did he just disappear or something? I'm gonna call you JB. Or I can hop on the next time you do a live. Just send me the link and I okay, we can do that too. We can do that too. I think that would be something hard to deal with too. If somebody is just missing, that's a different animal. I'm really trying to figure out how to grow this platform too. Because I see a lot of gossip, but I think what we bring to this platform is more beneficial. Even though people like, messiness, but I said if they can grow, I know we can. Y'all know my father committed suicide and took my brother. Oh Lord, so sorry to hear that. That is tough. I think you gotta forgive your father. If you have you ever had therapy for that, JB? That's rough. That's definitely rough. I think you gotta learn how to. And he got survivor's guilt, like you said, y'all. I think you got to forgive, and you got to understand every you're here for a reason. So if you forgave him, then you need to learn how to forgive yourself for being here in the end, because you still, you know, or seek help. Sometimes you don't have the tools that you need in order to be effective in navigating your healing process. That's why they got skilled people out there. That's why they got therapy. Sometimes medication. Whatever you need to do to get to that point to where you better and you can enjoy life. So that's your. I invite you to go seek therapy, Joseph. Like seriously. A lot of people out here suffering silently. A lot of people out here don't know how to navigate their emotions. When I went through my major depression and anxiety, I went and got help. I didn't know how to deal with that. Never happened to me before. Always was very strong in that way. Was raised to toughen up and shake it off. I couldn't toughen up nor shake that off. So I went and got myself some help. And that's the best thing I ever did because I needed help. I did not have the knowledge or the tools to successfully navigate that thing. And I knew I didn't want to stay in that space. I knew that I deserved to live a healthier life. That I didn't want to live in that unhealthy state. It was a terrible experience, and it didn't turn around overnight neither. Took me a couple years actually. I'm still healing, but I'm a lot better than I was. I can't even imagine um where I would be at this moment if I wouldn't have got myself some help. I knew I needed help. So I went and got it. I went and got it. Yeah, my deepest condolences. I mean, that's rough. But you gotta I think you gotta give yourself a chance. And I think you need to go get yourself some help, Joseph. I really do. What you encountered is one of the most traumatic experience anyone could endure. Use the tools we have to get better. Don't stay there. Absolutely. Let me see. Yes. Okay. Let me see. Hold on, logical thinker. Let me see something. Wait a minute. All right. Hey, logical thinker. I don't know if you want to or not, but I just sent you the link in on IG if you want to join or not. I ain't never had nobody join. If you want to join this one, we can try it out. But yeah, Joseph, I think it's time for you to own up and accept that maybe it's time to go get some help. Seriously. You too nice of a man. Think you're a kind person with a good heart. And yeah, got you. But see, I also know people can get very comfortable with living it with that pain. It becomes a form of comfort, if you will. And you can get stuck in that and you don't want to do that. Like I said before about, people can be addicted to pain. That's a real thing. People stay in relationships that are not good for them because they become addicted to pain. Being addicted to pain is a real thing. And unfortunately, I need to accept myself and find a way of sorting myself out. Yeah, go to therapy, Joseph, so they can help you sort it out. It's really an effective practice. I When I first started therapy, I had a negative attitude, because I was assigned to group therapy and I never been, like I said. So my first thought was I don't want people to know my business, and I don't want to be part of no group therapy. I was all in that one on one, but a part of group therapy is like one of those sessions you have a follow-up one-on-one visit with the therapist by yourself, but group therapy is a supportive um, group of people that are working through and resolving similar challenges and issues. Group therapy was one of the best things that happened to me. But my initial thought process on what group therapy was negative. I didn't know what I didn't know. Don't knock it until you try it. Group therapy was very effective in healing, and I believe in it. I encourage it, and I do it again without a second thought. I think people should go see what therapy is about if they've never experienced it. You wouldn't believe what a step forward can do to, and how it can change your life. That's why a lot of people out here, it's like they're the functioning dysfunctional because we become conditioned with being dysfunctional, and it becomes acceptable behavior, and it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. Um, hey, let me see. How do we add to stream?
You got me?
I got. What's up,
No,
girl?
hold on. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well.
So I wanted
Yeah.
to hop on here because you're talking to Joseph and everything, and I just have to give my spiel on trauma therapy. So I went through trauma therapy a year ago, and it was probably the most beneficial thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Amen.
And yeah, it was life changing because what it did was she helped me to see the flaws in my thinking and was able to debunk that. There's certain exercises you have to do and things like that. But just to put it down on paper and to discuss how I thought
Mm-hmm.
and how the mind can trick you into thinking that something is real when it is totally not,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so for me, yeah, it changed my whole life. Paranoia, all kinds of
Yep.
stuff went away
Yep.
after I got trauma therapy. It was a
Mm-hmm.
12-week session. I think she added on 2 more weeks because I'm needy, and I was like,
No,
nah.
I was there 12 weeks. I was in extensive, yeah.
Uh huh.
Because I was diagnosed with every stage of PTSD.
Mhm.
And like you said, what made me I didn't call it trauma, but that's what it was.
Mm.
I was paranoid, I was fearful, and like a genuine true fear uh that I had no control over. And that's just a very scary and sad place to be in. It's very, and I'm telling you, I cried a lot in the beginning. I couldn't control my emotions, and therapy helped me walk that thing down. I was a wreck. I was a total wreck, and I had no skills or knowledge of how to deal with it. And I think it's more people like that than not. And a lot of times when they get past that uncontrollable emotion stage, you know how that is in the beginning, they learn how to mask that dysfunction, and they
Yeah.
still a wreck
Yeah.
living a dysfunctional life.
And that's where all the diseases and illnesses come from because we're showing up. You know how they always say, "Oh, you don't look like what you've been through." That's
Mm,
a good thing, but at the same time, it's not because you're
right.
harboring all of that stuff, holding it in, and that's how diseases manifest itself in our body because we're holding in all this trauma, all this anger, all of these
Lord.
issues.
Yes. Joseph said, it's difficult to open up. I am a private person and have never
Me too.
seeked support. It
Me.
is a weakness built into me. Weakness can be used by others. Is that, yeah, that's y'all. That's y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me, Joseph. But yeah, the cool thing about therapists is they don't know you from Adam. They
Mhm.
don't know you from Adam.
Yep.
So
And
they
they're there to
to
help.
discriminate against you or to look at
Hmm.
you as weak. trust me, the stuff that they hear, what you have to tell them ain't gonna be nothing they've never heard before, or not crazier.
And it's confidential
Confidential by law.
by law.
They're not gonna risk their livelihood to tell your business, Joseph. Hi.
Yep. It's it's a reality, and I'm so glad you jumped on here, y'all, because it's a lot of people that's dealing with trauma, um, and ain't doing nothing about it. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, and it's like I mean, when you talk about that sickness, I was living in urgent care. It started to attack my body. I had surgery on both my eyes.
Whoa.
It started to tear me down. I think it was things that probably would have, happened later on in life, but whatever what it might maybe happen later on in life, that stress, it sped it up
Brought it on
20,
fast.
30 years. I had surgery on both my eyes because I couldn't see. My vision started to be blurred. Um, I had carpal tunnel in one arm that came about. All this, I went to urgent care. Like one day I went because my one arm was hurting. I went back the next day because my other arm was hurting. I had carpal tunnel in one arm, and then
Oh,
I got diagnosed with tendonitis in my elbow and the other one. And then I ended up in physical therapy because I started to have a slip disc or something in my neck. So much stuff started to happen to me out of nowhere. And I had never had physical problems in my life. But like you said, that stress started to eat away. When they say stress is a silent killer, that's a real thing. I mean, I started to lose hope because my body just started to go downhill out of nowhere instantly. And I couldn't control it. And I had never experienced it before. It's scary. It's
you know,
scary.
I worked in the medical field for over 20 years, and you know what we do with patients like you that come in constantly, even though they had legitimate diagnoses.
Hmm.
After a certain number of times, we start to refer them to mental health
Hmm.
because there's something else going on along with all of these physical illnesses.
See, I didn't end up to group therapy. All that started, and then boom, I I pretty much hit rock bottom,
Hmm.
and then my work sent me out. See, I didn't just go out; they sent me out.
Hmm.
And
That's
that's how I entered into extensive group therapy.
mhm.
It's a real thing, and you see, you would have been trained um to know it was more. I
Hmm.
didn't know what was going on. I
Right.
mean, I all I knew was I'm a strong black woman, and I'm supposed to be able to deal with this.
My
And
mom always tell me, never let them see you sweat.
exactly. But I don't believe in that no more. I don't believe it. My mother was, ain't nothing wrong with you. Toughen up, shake it off.
Hmm.
No, something was wrong with me, and I couldn't toughen up because I was weak as hell, and I couldn't shake it off. I needed help. And there's so many more people out there that need help.
Yeah.
And we got to start being honest because it's killing us. Joseph says, I don't trust people's professionalism. I am a person that if you talk to me about something, it stays with me. I don't find that in others. Here our medical doesn't see the holistic problem you have just mentioned. He in the UK. I don't know how the medical system is in UK, but what I can tell you is you got to let down a lot of them guards. You don't you got a lot of opinions, but you didn't been where you are too long. So you need to try something different, Joseph. But only you can get yourself there. We can talk to you till you blue in the face. You got to know that you deserve a better life. Um we ain't just out here talking from our hip, are we, y'all? We've
Right.
been we've been there. Like we have been there, and we come from a culture that's very guarded and don't believe in what we talking about. And if we can come forth and speak and go against everything we was taught, I'm telling you, at least go see what it's about.
Yeah.
At least go see what it's about
In
because
America,
it took a lot.
holistic either. We're built on big pharma down here, so we in the
Yep.
same boat. They want to
Yep.
show medicine and surgeries and everything else in order for everybody to get paid. Um, but like she said, there's other routes you could take. You could read more. You could listen to Eckhart Tolle. You could listen to
Yep.
people online. Find you a holistic therapist. You may have to pay though. That's the thing. When you want holistic, like I have a functional medicine doctor that's helping me get to the bottom of a lot of things. Because when I was in the military, they give you enough to patch you up to send you back out there, but they don't ever look and see what the cause of the problem is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of the system. So I had to pay out of pocket to get me a naturopathic doctor to figure out what the heck is really going on. And now, next thing I know, I'm feeling better. I got energy. I got all this other stuff. But when it comes to mental health, if they just want to give you medicine, but you want to talk to somebody, you might have to pay, out of pocket just to get it started, Joseph.
Listen, when I was confused, this is after I went to that extensive group therapy. So that started in June of 2019, right? I caught COVID in March 2020, 6 months later. And that's when the whole country shut down. Well, I was so sick and confused coming out of that thing because I was still healing from a traumatic PTSD, depression, anxiety. I spent $6,000 out of my pocket. Again, I ain't well. I wouldn't spend $6,000 a day, but I was so confused, girl. I gave a life coach $6,000 to help me try to get myself back on track.
Were they helpful?
They were helpful.
Okay, so it was worth it.
It was worth it. I wouldn't give them. I think it was too much. Well, it wasn't too much because I did get help.
Yeah.
But they, I did get the help that I needed. But insurance didn't pay for that.
Yeah.
Like I took money out of my savings. I was so confused, and I was so much in need. I couldn't put a price on my health. I would have threw whatever I had at that thing because I was sick.
Yeah.
And I needed, and I didn't have anything in me that could help me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and again,
good.
You have to do what you have to go outside of what Joseph. Yeah, that's what I am thinking of, y'all. Good to hear the money wasn't wasted. Yeah. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about, y'all. He gotta do something new.
He has to do something new. You're 58. We don't have much more time on this earth. You see all this stuff happening. I believe God has given us time right now to get ourselves together.
I believe that too.
Everything is heating up all over the place. I ain't never seen triple digits weather in the United States before like I did when I was in Texas. It reminded me of being in the Middle East. I said, this makes no sense, When you have water in the Atlantic Ocean heating up to over 100 degrees, what is going on? So we really don't have enough time. If you want, the last 30, 40 years of your life to be fruitful and manageable and pleasant, you will want to do something now, Joseph. That's the only reason I hopped on here, was so that I could talk about the trauma therapy and how much it helped me. Because we don't want you suffering not one more minute. You got to do something. You have to.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yep. But he gotta believe that.
Right.
We know it.
We know.
He just gotta believe it.
Yeah.
And that's why we really gotta keep talking about this mental health, because that's the core of everything. I don't care what nobody say. That's the engine to all.
Starts here.
Starts there.
Yeah.
And that's why you got all this going on, because a lot of this ain't right. But they're normalizing a lot of this dysfunction. And for real. Am I lying, y'all?
It's wild.
I know.
Stuff online, but the cosigns from people, thousands of comments just cosigning the fuckery. I'm like, wait a minute. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
No, this grown folks over here.
Okay.
For real.
Many people think like this.
I know. And they got the more toxic, the more support. That's what's crazy.
That's why their channels are up, because they're and people feed off of that. They love it.
JB said, I want more natural way, not tranquilizers and crap farmer medication. Like
Yeah,
you, yeah, you were saying you got a natural healer, right? But you said, like they said, you pay for that.
have to pay for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went outside of my insurance coverage. Like I said, I took $6,000 at it. Um, it's all about what you want for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and I want it. I do whatever I got to do,
Yeah.
you know. But I learned a lot in that. I learned a lot in that process too,
Mm-hmm.
about myself and how to manage. The reality is you got to want to help yourself. You can have resources in place, but it's got to be something that you want for in order for it to work and be effective. I wanted to get well. I didn't want to stay in that space. I didn't want to stay sick. And a lot of people get comfortable with being sick, like they're it's like they form a relationship with it.
Yeah, I think my grandmother was like that. My grandmother was always like the victim, and I think she got addicted to always being the victim. Like my mother used to always say, I never heard my mom say, like, if you ask her, how you doing today? Never heard her say, I'm doing great. It was always, I'm okay, or I'm surviving, or.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and I think she lived in that of just being depressed all the time. I think she enjoyed it.
And I know exactly what you're talking about. I know a couple people like that. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Dealing with people like that becomes exhausting. The people that I know personally, it's because they're always going through something,
Always.
and it becomes old when you want to help them. Um, what you talking about, JB? Isn't that what we all say? Oh, but it's the truth.
It's true.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I talk about that with some of my nieces, about some of our family members that's like that, and for real it becomes exhausting. Like, you have to take a deep breath.
Mhm.
I'm glad you fine, but we want you to be better than fine, Joseph.
Right. We want you to be great.
Yep. But I think we should do a panel, um and invite some people on. I know a couple more people in our community talk about their mental health, and
Yeah.
I think everybody got some a best practice, or a life lesson that they can share. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Because we all done been through something. Those of us that ain't out here pretending, you know,
Right.
that we can offer up to the community, and that's something else I seen too. I was watching some earlier, one of those channels that help your channel grow. And one of the things they said was connect with other content creators and collab together, and that's how your platforms grow. But that today wasn't the first day I heard it. That's why I reached out to you before, but I seen it again today.
Hmm.
So we definitely like. I think the directions that we trying to go, we definitely like need to start collaborating more and bringing our voices forward more on our equal onus platforms, and I think that's one way we can grow our platforms too.
I agree. I think transparency is key too. Like we don't have to tell
Yeah,
all our business, but
absolutely.
express, what we went through, what got us to where we are, and what we did to change it.
Hmm.
And how much
Like,
better our
mhm.
lives are due to the steps that we took, for sure.
Yeah, we can offer, and everything ain't about us, right? We got enough. We didn't live in this world long enough to share things we just know. This We know this internet can be very nasty and hateful. Um, they don't need to know everything about my life, but I can tell you some things I know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how I know. I just know.
Mm-hmm.
You know. You know, you get me. Um, because they are. It's some vicious. It's a lot of miserable people out here,
Yes.
and some people don't want to heal. Some people thrive in their and they feed off of chaos and evil and just hate. So you do. You have to be guarded. Um, especially with growing these platforms because jealousy, envy, uh mental illness is real.
Facts. You see
It,
what he said? He said most people don't want to hear you're not fine. They just want to tell you how bad they are feeling. And you know what I call those people? Energy vampires, Joseph. I used to sit there and listen to people all the time, soak up all of their whatever misery they got going on, and then I will hold on to it as if it was mine. And next thing you know, I'm in a bad mood. I'm, whatever. I don't do that no more. Don't do it.
Mhm.
I don't. My life
Yeah,
is a lot lighter because of it.
and it is. You got some people that come out here, and I see that in the comments. And you know what? I have to reset myself. You
Mm,
know, because the soft life that you don't just say, oh, I live it. Like that's a reset daily
mm.
because people come out here just to trigger you. They want to set you off. They want to set you up to pop off or to walk in a wall. um and I'm learning that, like, as I get more people coming past or on the platform, I see more of that, like them people that they looking for a reaction.
Yep.
They looking, and I think that's one of the things. That's how why Peach is, like, she could have over a million followers. She could be so far now if she would learn how to manage that. But she feeds in, and I mean I have to reset myself because some of the people I go head up with,
Yeah.
but she gets so engulfed in that to where she's stagnated. Now she's growing, but she could be double, at minimum double where she at, if she knew how to manage that, you know, and not, you know, be a part of the problem, the negative aspect of what these you got another one, y'all.
Yes, I know the feeling. Yeah. Yeah.
And it is, it's dangerous out here. But I think and tell me what you think, y'all. You got to be intentional. You got to be very intentional when you come out here and be focused on what your intent is, so you can sift through all that other mess. Because if you just out here, you stand vulnerable, for somebody to pop off and you react. For real.
Absolutely.
That's how I'm able to manage, you know what I mean? And I slip now because people like I can I'm a lot I'm proud of myself because I'm much better than I was, some years ago. I'll pop off in a minute.
Right.
But I learned how to control myself and not let people control my emotions,
Yeah.
you know? Um
It's
and
what
when you
you got to know yourself. When you
Mhm.
know who you are, then you have the ability to not let what other people do trigger you. But when you don't know who you are and people have figured you out and they know how to push your buttons, that's a bad place to be in.
who showed a good example of growth with that here recently?
Who?
Sha'Carri Richardson. Did
Oh
you
my.
see that interview where she bypassed all them people?
Yeah.
Um, because they was abusive towards that girl at a vulnerable stage in her life.
Yep.
So now she took control,
Yep.
and no, this is going now today. Now I'm popular and I'm accepted now.
Right.
This gonna go how I want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
My I got much respect for her. Now people are trying to turn that thing another way, but you can't turn or take away the fact she's a world champion and she stand on what she believe in and she speak up. Hey,
Yeah.
she don't have to be nothing other than herself.
Yeah. I did a video about her when that whole weed situation went down, about how
Mm-hmm.
it was that she took accountability. She knew
Mm-hmm.
she messed up. She had to sit down, get herself straight, and now look at her now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So
And she don't let them. And now everybody want to be in her face. And she said, "Hold up, wait a minute. I ain't on your time.
I know that's right.
I respect it. I
Yeah,
really do
absolutely.
because these streets will tear you up. Like
Mhm.
they say, you love today and hate it tomorrow. That's a real thing,
Yep.
you know. And you have to navigate them. I'll tell you a skill I'm learning, and you'll start seeing this. The more and more you grow too. When you start getting more of them naysayers that pop in there, there's people that's miserable.
Oh yeah.
When I the first sentence, when I start with the first trigger word, a lot of times I don't even read the rest.
Oh yeah. You can't.
I was,
Yeah.
but I'm learning how to. I stop. I might, but see, I'm a smart aleck, so I'll respond to them based off the first couple words, which I'm gonna quit doing that too. But because you consume that, you start to consume that, you know. Because when if you like I said, feelings come from a thought. So if I'm sitting there reading it, see, I'm internalizing what you just said. So then I'm starting to feel it, and then so that smart aleck come out of me, and then I'm responding. Nah,
Yep.
so I'm getting better because I stop myself. As soon as I start seeing that negativity, I quit reading it. But
Hmm.
but I gotta, not respond. But that's a real thing, though.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Yeah.
people jack up your day, and you
Mm,
don't even know them.
exactly. Exactly. But you know what? I see it as a positive thing too, because it's whatever you're saying is triggering somebody, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the trigger creates a thought in their mind, and it's planted,
That's true.
and then later on it comes back to them later on. So I think it's a good thing, whether it's negative or positive, but especially the negative, because that means you're not saying what everybody wants to hear. You're saying what people need to hear. So I always look at it as a good thing. If this person don't agree, okay, let's see why. Well, I stuck a nerve. A hit dog is gonna holler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I was trying to see. You have to teach me how to do that.
which
I
one?
was trying to see how I'll create a banner. Is that how you do it?
What exactly are you trying to do?
I was gonna pin like yo channel.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I
Oh,
don't.
maybe let me see it. Let me try this. Make we just since it ain't that many. We testing it out. Make sure
Out there, and usually when
you
I do my StreamYard, I'll type it out, your average logical thinker, and then it'll be my name underneath my face here, my block here.
is it the average or average?
Your average
Oh,
logical.
your it's your. That's right. Your.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Your average. All right.
Because I haven't really played with banners or anything like that. Um, but I know
So here I got it. So tell me, can you see it?
I can't see it the where I'm looking. No,
I got make and it says ticker, and I've had it. It's under banners. It's
oh,
supposed to be.
so it might be once we get off and look at it. It might.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey Joseph, can you see it? Can you see? Make sure you subscribe to the Average Logical Thinker. Can you see that on there? Joseph can tell us. But what I wonder, I ain't seen Ricky on here lately. I wonder how he doing.
Oh, Ricky, yeah, probably busy.
Yeah, everybody get busy. And I'm about to start. I got to go back to the plant. He said no, nothing here.
Okay.
Um, it
Well,
says it. I got to go back to the plant. Starting the week of first week of September. So what? I got 2 weeks. I got to go back in the plant 3 days a week
oh, okay.
because I've been working remote the last 3 years.
Uh-huh.
So I got to go back, which
Oh, you
I,
got to go back to the office.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, what
yeah,
time do you get off?
like 4:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just figure out what days work best for you. Like, I don't work right now. So I'm home most of the time doing my own thing and my entrepreneurial stuff, but you let me know. Like during the day is great, but you'll be at work. And then usually after I get my son and put him to bed is usually the best times for me. Like 9 on up is best for me. If it's not during the day, but we can always figure it out.
Yeah, I think 9 will work since I'm going. I'm trying some more too. I think um since I'm going back into the plan 3 days a week, that obviously the evenings like that 9 gonna work for me doing. And I think during the week will be better because people get busy and they try to catch up on their stuff like on Saturdays and then they resting on Sundays. So I said Saturday I ain't gonna commit to Saturdays because that's when people are trying to get caught up. You know what I'm saying? I think I'll be trying to figure out that sweet spot. Um, Somewhere during the week, like we probably hit like a maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, something like where we
Mhm.
could capture more people. I think maybe during the week might be better than
Yeah,
towards the weekend.
I agree.
Yeah, but that's me. I'll be trying to figure out
Mhm.
the sweet spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, but I think we got a focus that people can benefit from, and I just feel in my heart that we stick to it. It definitely grow because it's a lot of people that need to know they ain't alone, and we all can identify.
Yeah, I mean, what you got going on and the whole premise for your show is so important and so needed, you know.
But
So, and
yours is just like it though. And so that's what I'm saying. It's a collaboration.
yeah,
It is. That's what I'm saying. It's a community. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Um, and I think the more we support each other and put it out there, like I said, and I know this to be true. It's
Mhm.
room for us all. Look at as many people that got a channel that just talk about Peach that's doing well.
Right.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
it's room for us all.
yeah, I didn't know who she was till I seen your video of it. I was like, "Who's Pete?" So I tried to
Uh,
type.
Look, I didn't know who she was either until um. So yeah, we do. Like this is a collab right here, but we had talked about it, so we connect outside of YouTube on another platform as well. And we were supposed to go live a couple of times, and we just haven't made it happen. But we a lot of our focus and content is we put out the same information, just uh y'all says it from her experience and
Yeah.
her mindset, and we both offering up our experience, knowledge, and support on different platforms. And I think that's how we cross roads. We came across each other um
Sorry, these
from
mosquitoes.
similar I content.
Mhm.
But I learned her because I followed another platform, and somebody was talking about her and saying that she scammed them out of money.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so me being nosy, like, who is that? Like, who are out here scamming people? You did you ever follow Miss Holla?
Yes, a little bit. Yes.
So I did. I only followed her a little bit too. I pretty much really focused in when she passed because it
Yeah.
was very big. And that's when I really learned about her and
Mhm.
her grand. And so I got caught up. I did like binge watching her material.
Yeah.
That's how I caught up on Miss Holla and her granddaughter. Since I followed that platform, she's the one that came out was hollering about Peach had stole like $174 from her, and she couldn't, and she didn't reach out to all these platforms, and she don't like to call anybody out, but she can't get no response. So since I followed that platform, that's how I heard. I was like, well, who out here scamming people? And I looked it up, and that's how I found out who Peach was. And then let's be honest, she's an entertainer. I mean, she knows how to present,
Mm.
but it's just a lot of mess that come with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and
But
then what
all of them are scammers. I think Miss Holla grandkids and all of them are
oh,
scammers.
I do too.
They all run
I
the
don't
same.
think Holla was, but I think her granddaughter well, see, they made a lot of money off of Miss Holla. And now that Miss Holla gone, they trying to sustain they trying to recapture that time, that moment in time, but that time is gone.
It's
None
time.
of them have the skill that Miss Holla had, and they can't bring in the views that she did. It's just not, it ain't gonna happen.
Nope.
So they trying to hold on to something that ship has sailed, unfortunately. And they need to go get a job. um
Thank you. Amen.
and I ain't talking about people. I'm just shoot. I'm speaking my truth from where I stand.
I'll
Uh,
talk child.
no, but I saw I was but see I learned after she passed how that was a mega platform, and they became so divided. Like you had a group that was telling them. I thought they should continue going because I didn't know what I didn't know, right?
Right.
But now fast forward as time went on, I'm like, nah, they need to give it up.
Yep.
Um, that the people tuned in because of Miss Holla.
Yep.
Um,
Did.
and it's just it's not there. It's not there. And you saw and I did see what a lot of people was saying, and when Miss Holla, they acted like, she didn't want to be a part of it. She was always behind the camera, and then all of a sudden you want to be all up in front of it. Like, be you. If you gonna come on these platforms, don't try to trick nobody. Make your intent be what it is.
Yep.
um it could have, what, they could have transitioned very smoothly had she been authentic with her intent when she was on the platform. Don't act like you didn't want to be on the platform. If you always had intent, that's what you should have showed up as. And after Miss Holla passed, see, those people would have still supported her.
Yep.
Because yeah, she's gone, but we still here for you. But
Yeah.
but you see, but you didn't present that. You had a false narrative.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
people, half of that platform said, nah, we ain't buying it. We don't want no part
Yep.
of it. A dummy could see that, you know what I'm saying? But that's what's the thing. People don't want to be a part of scan, when they feel like you're trying to scheme or you trying to outwit somebody and it ain't authentic.
Yep.
When you show up as yourself, people feel that, you know.
And the thing is, they think that people don't notice or that we're not smart enough to catch on. People feel energy. We know what's fake and what's real. A lot of us out here. A lot of these people come online and thinking they're getting over on people, and it's like, no, 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 no. So,
You got a question, y'all?
oh, what was that? So, who do you aim for, y'all, on your channel? See, I'm not, see, okay, I'm still working on it, Joseph. That's why if you go on there, you'll see I'm kind of all over the place with certain things. Um,
I
but really,
am too.
like me, people that are like minded.
Mhm.
No specific race, gender, nothing like that. When I first came on the platform, I said I'm not gonna stick to anything like just black people or black woman.
Mm-mm.
But I find myself always veering towards the black community because a lot of the things I talk about affect us so deeply. And so a lot of times my topics tend to veer that way. But the things that I talk about affect everybody. I talk about parenting, good parenting versus bad parenting. A lot of just regular things that happen in the world that affect the majority of us. So
You got another question, y'all. That's exactly what you just described is exactly what happened to me. I wanted to veer towards everybody, but my intent was I wanted to talk to everybody. Then I veered towards a black woman because I'm her and we identify with each other. But I didn't want it just to be about her. And ultimately, that seems to be who I interact with the most. Um, but I didn't want to close off the channel to where that's it. I wanted it to be an open community. But like you said, what I'm talking about, anybody can relate to. Uh,
right,
but a lot of times where they at. But that's
right.
why I'm glad to hear, Joseph. Yo, there you got that
For
question.
everybody. The algorithm is going to put, if you one particular YouTuber, or you look a certain way, or you talk about, it's only going to push it towards. So all we can do is what we can do. And, I'm at the point where if just one person hears it and understands and appreciates it, then I'm good.
Yep. Hey Joseph, click on her name and you can just subscribe to her channel that way.
Yeah,
It's it,
your average logical thinker. All four.
you know what it is. You the one you look her name. You gave her her name. I like it. I'm gonna call her that, y'all.
Yeah, some
I
other people
like
call me.
it.
Yep.
They do. I
Hmm.
like it.
Yeah.
Yep. I only he the first one I ever seen. I like it though.
It sounds too much like alt right or alt left though, so I usually try not to. But it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. I gotta, and you know what? That's another thing. So I try to learn off these other platforms
Mhm.
because the reality is it is an opportunity to grow and it is an opportunity to really change your life and the life of others on these platforms. I mean, it's the way of the world. It ain't going backwards.
No,
So
no.
I mean, I believe in pushing ahead and really trying to hone these crafts and
And you doing awesome. I seen your products on there. I was like, oh, she got the products now. She got the
that's
little dollar sign where you can super chat. I was like, she doing it. That's
that.
awesome.
So that's the first stage.
Okay.
Um so YouTube changed the algorithm. So that's the first stage. You got to have at least 500 subscribers
Yeah.
and 3,000 watch hours or so many short views, and that's the first stage.
Yeah.
Then the final stage, I'm less than 300 hours away from the advertisements. So that's the first
Okay.
stage.
Oh,
And
we
then the way they got it set
about
up,
pushing it then.
yeah,
If you
that's some. Hey, I'm telling you.
yeah.
Um, and I was just watching the video today, and I watched one before, and the advice they gave with was to connect with other content creators and collaborate. I
Mhm.
really wish I could have went to that summit that they're gonna have in Dallas this year. The
Thanks, Joseph.
I
The
forget the
Creator Summit or something.
yeah, I want to go to that next year for real. I
Where's
want
it
to go. It's in Dallas this year. I don't know if it's Dallas every year, but
going?
it's in Dallas.
Okay. Okay.
Uh
I'll meet you there.
yeah, for real, we should do it
Heck yeah.
because
I just
a
came from
lot of
Texas.
people, huh?
I said I just came from Texas. I'll meet you out there.
Yep. Let's make plans. We gotta exchange information too.
Okay.
With email. You see my email so
Okay.
we can have and for real start planning because I think that's the kind of stuff I'm on because I know and it's early enough to where we can get ahead of that and we really can develop ourselves in this arena before it gets just overly saturated. It's still early in the game. Um and I think the more we push forward and really get entrenched into that type of environment and connect with others, because what we talking about, life and just period, it ain't going nowhere, and it's going to be a need for more people to be authentic to speak up, because it's getting more and more crazy out here, and people are going to be looking for more authentic people because there's so much fakeness that's out here in these streets. They people going to look for real,
Yeah,
a
you're
rarity.
right.
It's a
Absolutely.
rarity.
Because the lines of AI and
Oh my goodness.
fake are being blurred with what's real already. So yeah,
Mhm.
people are going to be now searching for the authentic and getting tired of the fake. Yeah, you
Yeah,
absolutely right.
I agree. All right. Well, look. You got anything else you want to?
No, I'm about to hop off here and get my son
Yeah.
to
Me
bed.
too. I enjoyed y'all. Let's
I
close
enjoyed.
it with what Joseph JB said. Lovely to hear you chatting. It brings a warm spot. Well, we are glad that we could do that and that you stuck with us and that you came on.
it.
Y'all. I thoroughly enjoyed y'all.
You too. JB,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
serious though when we talk about that getting that help. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
imperative if you want to live a great life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got to do something other than what you have been doing. Like Boo says, what you've been doing ain't working. We know you're strong, but sometimes the mind is so powerful, and you might just be too smart for your own good. So let somebody else help you.
Yep. And make sure you subscribe. Amen. We hold you accountable when you keep us posted.
Yeah,
But make sure you subscribe to y'all's channel. You just gotta click on her icon and then it'll say subscribe because she gonna circle back with me and we're gonna be going live on her platform as well.
yeah,
So you'll get so when you see her live, you might see my head pop in there time or two. So make
Yep.
sure you follow her as well. And have a good night, folks. I enjoyed y'all.
Good night, guys.
Have a good night, everybody. Till next
Bye.
time.